Howdy folks, we have the AE-1 program today, and this bad boy came out in 1981, 3 years after the Canon A1. One of my favorite cameras, and of course we are going to be dealing with the good old Canon cough. As you can hear, let's put it at a thousandth of a second. Now, a thousandth of a second, the mirror box is supposed to go really fast. Stop a lot of stuff in motion with a thousandth of a second. So that is pretty slow. And you can hear that cough, you know. I definitely recommend Robitussin. No, I'm playing. But your shutter speeds are off when you have the Canon cough. But it's fairly easy, very common within the A1, AE1, A1 program, AT1, AV1. Geez, Manetti. I think there's one more. But they're all constructed from basically the same mirror box. And I actually have an example to show you really quick. So when the mirror goes up and down, there are gears that are routed together. Boom, boom, boom. And when we go in, I'll show you where and what we will actually be hitting in the mirror box. Tools for today. Cannot forget cross point screwdriver. Always. And forever. Yeah. Using the 3/4 or something like that, the thin one. Got my curved tweezers, my straight tweezers, C-clamp removers, honed in mentor tool. First and foremost, I don't like that. Don't know why. Always check. I just like to do that because it sounds like a bomb. All right. Don't forget, good old, man, me and Horace Whitlock, bro, I'll tell you what, back in 1914, we used to go ham. You hear me? We used to go to those brothels. No, I'm playing. First and foremost, with the AE1, A1 program, always like to take off the front cover ring. Cool thing about the AE1 program and the AE1 and the A1, they all got the same screws, man. So it's not different threads and stuff like that. You can literally just throw them in a pile. You got 2 screws after you take that ring off. You need to pay attention to that, because if you don't, you're going to try to pull off that top cover and end up breaking those with the screws still in, because this is plastic, it is not metal. Let's go ahead and open up this film door. You're gonna pull up on the rewind lever, it's gonna pop open. Always check light seals, and man, these are factory still good. Here's a little testaroonie. Pull down on the lever, remove film back, set aside. Alright, so on the rewind knob, you have a hole. You can put anything virtually that can fit. You're just going to turn left. No reverse threads on this camera. Thank the camera gods on that. You got a C-clamp right here. This is over on the left ASA dial. Put your C-clamp going straight up. So you want to put it in there, but in a 90-degree angle, and then lean back like Fat Joe. Lean back, lean back. You're going to go straight up and down and then lean back, and you'll see it literally turn up. And then you can just lift up with pressure and set aside. Now, there's going to be a washer on top of here. So you can remove the whole ASA dial itself, but do know there's another washer in there. And like I said, you have a washer on top of there. That washer is important. You really need that washer. Don't lose that washer. That's the name of my band. Keep it together. We'll get back to that. Just go ahead and put it back on top. Alright, now underneath that, sometimes this piece that sits in this hole and has a little tooth, sometimes that sticks under there, and you need to make sure that you just go ahead and separate that, because reassembling, it needs to be put back simultaneously. Now for the cough, I like to always keep it at 1,000ths of a second, so it's fast, and when I know I can catch the cough, because sometimes you can have it at 1/25th and it sound great, put it all back together, run it through all the shutter speeds, and at 1,000th of a second, you'll hear, it's not a good sound to hear. The way to show this leatherette right here, sometimes it's all crackled and aged. This one didn't look that bad, but always start in the corner, go under a little bit, and just swipe. Then you have 2 screws under there. You're going to remove these 2 screws. You're going to lift up on the cover, and you notice you have 4 holes. You're just going to use 2 of the 4 holes and remove it. Now, I would always just pay attention. You would see you have the top piece, a metal piece, then a plastic piece. Just make a mental note, literally, just in case. Let's say you set that there and you leave to go answer the door, and you have 4 daughters and they come in your room and they're like, oh, this looks like so much fun to play slime on. Boom. You know the assembly of that, because if you reverse those 2, it's not going to be a pretty advance. And you got another piece. We got another little mini seat clamp. Once again, you're going to start at 90-degree angle, and you're going to lean back like Fat Joe, and you're just going to remove. It's always looking easy for me. There are times that it is not easy. I'm going to remove that. Then you have another metal washer, and you got a plastic piece. Now you have to remove this plastic piece. I remember my mentor always telling me, because I'd forget it, take the other screws, I'd be so happy, take the top off, and then boom, that would break the plastic that it's touching. As you can see, there's plastic here with notches that go into this ring, So, you can break that piece, those teeth, keeping that in there. Alright, then you got these good old 4 screws. No, I'm playing. One thing to pay attention to when you are removing the top cover, there is black wire that's going from the flash sink. You got to tuck that. You'll see. Unless you want to pull out the solder machine, which I don't, you can hit those 3. It's not that pressing for me right now. Alright, so you have it at 1,000ths of a second. You have the top cover off. What we're going to do is put back the driver washer, is what I call it, because it drives the Advance and it's kind of like a washer. We put that back on. Alright, and before we bring Mr. Whitlock in it, so this is the mirror box. We're going to go in through right here, but it's all feel. You really can't see in there. Like, it's all about feel. So we're going to go in through right here, and you're going to feel that gear right there. Right there. You're going to hit that so it can go all the way down. Now, you don't want to put too much. You put too much, you're screwed. You don't want to be screwed. So, we're going to feel. You can hear it. You squeeze a little bit. You advance. Okay, look. It's always not first try. Sometimes you have to put a little bit, set it back, go smoke a cigarette, have some coffee, come back, and but let's first try Fridays. It's definitely not Friday, but that was phenomenal. We're going to put that back. Now, as I just spoke about the black wire, I'm going to try to show you so you can see this black wire that is right here. Has to be tucked between the board and the frame. The board and the frame, but then you have a flex cable here. Don't touch that flex cable. That flex cable breaks. You break. You're gonna shove it in there a little bit behind the flex, but basically underneath the board, because you don't want it sticking out the side or anything like that. Then you're going to set that down just like that. I like to put those 4 screws back in, or at least 2. I guess it really what you want to do, but got them secured up in there. Check, make sure the bomb's still good. Love it. Alright, cool beans. So, let's just go ahead and throw them up back in now. Alright, plastic piece first. Remember that piece used to get yelled at? And actually, it was a pain replacing the plastic pieces. Now, you got to make sure this sits right around it perfectly now. Okay? Literally. Alright, and then make sure it sets in. I like to hold it down. Whitlock, get your butt back. Now, I like to open it wide enough, and I just set it with my nail. Boom. Make sure the functionality is correct. It should not beep in the red L. Cool beans. No blow up sounds this time. Alright, now, washer driver, please. Alright. Ain't no left-handed screws over here, Billy. Oh, y'all thought I was gonna forget to bring Billy up. Alright, make sure it's tight, not too tight. Give it a couple of runs. Hopefully it doesn't cough, because if it does, I'll have to take it back apart. Alright, we're gonna do the cover album of Canon cough. Leatherette should still be sticky. Stick it back in, apply some pressure. Alright, remember this assembly now. Tooth goes in whole. Alright, we'll sit right there, put a little pressure on that ASA dial. One thing you can do is run some good old alcohol around that and clean the inside of that if you want to. But this tooth sits right up in there. Not them other ones, none of that. Straight right there and the right there. So we're going to line up. And it did not line up. I got you. So I am going to go solo dolo. There we go. Now to make sure it's flush all the way around. And then washer. Boom. Put the retainer ring back in, shabazz. On the black side, you always put the black side in first, and then just let the silver side sit and watch. There goes these last 4 screws. Man, I wish I had more time with y'all, but this is it for this one. A lot of people, if they just try, they could do this. But then again, I've been doing this for a while. Love it. Can't get enough of it. No cough for me, no cough for you. That's the Canon cough, y'all. Hope y'all stay positive, stay focused, and keep preparing. I'll let your boy. Thank you for watching. Peace.